victims of the flawed and unpredictable LASIK eye surgical procedure. My name is Dean Andrew Kantis, founder of LifeAfterLASIK.com. For the past 9 years, I've spent $30,000 seeking restoration of my ruined vision, only to find out there is no cure. Through my website, hundreds of victims have contacted me expressing their suicidal thoughts. Some have already committed suicide. It's always the same story. I was lied to. The name says it all. LASIK. LASIK. When I began to speak out against LASIK years ago, I encountered a severe backlash. Even my own doctor, Nick Caro of St. George in Chicago, tried to sue me for $2 million for exposing his 40 lawsuits. He then caused my family to get a divorce last year by harassing my wife, attempting to get her fired from her nursing profession. My family has been harassed, has had death threats, and was lied to by this doctor, yet no one has punished him for his actions. Where was the FDA? How is it that a doctor in this country can have 40-plus lawsuits with no known disciplinary action? I feel that my second opinion doctors also lied to me, and I know they are the problem. How is a patient ever able to find out they have a problem if all the follow-up doctors lie to protect the original doctor? Where was the FDA? After submitting complaints on these same doctors to the Department of Regulations in Florida and Chicago, backed by solid evidence, I soon found all were denied. They all went up to probable cause, and there at the top sits a medical doctor in order to cover a fellow doctor. I feel like I've been raped. Because of the lies, I was unable to sue my doctor before the statute of limitations ran out. I guess that is why they all kept telling me that it would take 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 years, Dean, for you to fully heal. Sound familiar? I had to go online to find out the truth. I am now out of pocket for medical expenses, lost wages, and for daily suffering. I don't know of any other procedure where hundreds of patients have created websites warning the public about the unpredictability and corruption of LASIK surgery. I have outlined 5 key emergency points which should be thoroughly investigated by this panel to ensure that the LASIK industry does not continue to dupe the misinformed public. Number 1, what is the truth about the flap and the pupil size? I was told that the flap created heals like a cut on your hand, but the truth is the flap never heals, isn't that right? It is unpredictable and leaves the patient with a permanently scarred cornea for life to see through. My pupils were measured off the charts at 9 millimeters, yet my doctor told me I was the perfect patient candidate for LASIK. Just remember, today's happy 2020 LASIK patient may regress and be tomorrow's LASIK casualty driving a school bus picking up your children. Oh yes, it affects everybody in this room. Number 2, what is the true informed consent? I have submitted a complete pamphlet to this panel that gives the patient true informed consent with full-color pictures illustrating the known side effects. Please consider mandating this pamphlet, for yours is antiquated. Then educate the consumer on the statute of limitations so they know the time frame to sue their doctor starts from the date of the procedure, not from the date of discovery. The lying LASIK doctors all know this. Number 3, what constitutes a LASIK success? I see double vision, halos, starbursts, fluctuating vision, dry eye syndrome, yet I was told I was a success. Can you believe that? In order to believe the LASIK industry's reported satisfaction rate of 95%, you must accept these complications to be acceptable normal outcomes. That's the question. Do you believe a patient who has these problems to be a success because the LASIK industry does? Shouldn't patient success be decided by each individual patient, however they define success? How does this panel define success? Number 4, what is a breach of the standard of care for LASIK doctors? The FDA has stated over and over that it is not their job to discipline doctors. Then whose job is it, because nobody seems to be doing it? I am out of a life that I once enjoyed because money came first, my well-being came last. I ask this panel to hold the FDA responsible for reviewing the ambulatory code 21 Charlie Foxtrot Romeo 803.17, requiring all LASIK facilities since 1997 to report all adverse patient outcomes. I feel every LASIK facility in this country is in violation of this mandatory requirement, which should prompt a class action lawsuit. If the CDRH has not even bothered to check the LASIK centers in their own neighborhood, why did they all of a sudden set up SightNet as a new initiative for their own incompetence? I do hope the media here today will run with this and investigate this. Lastly, number 5, what are the unforeseen emotional consequences of LASIK that affects every LASIK doctor, their family members, and patients? I come today at my own expense after 8 years of research to inform this panel that you have a serious problem on your hands of very desperate, suicidal, and angered patients that know their LASIK doctors lied to them and blame their LASIK doctors for ruining their precious lives. I ask this panel to set up an emergency Hurt LASIK patient fund immediately in order to help patients with suicidal preventative therapy, ongoing medical expenses, legal representation, and lost wages. Please take immediate action to protect the people who are under your care and pay you for protecting them. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Glenn Hagel, who will be speaking in place of Barbara Burney, or presenting her statement.
Thank you. As you said, I'm Glenn Hagley. I am making the statement on behalf